Next guest, Fil Waters. He's a retired homicide detective with a lot more cases under his belt than me, 400 of them at the Houston Police Department. Phil, it's good to have you back on the show. Thank you so much for doing this. So is it your expertise, my friend, that criminals simply seem to think they're invisible while driving in the dark?
Well, it's good to be back with you, Ash. It's been a while. Happy New Year. Yeah, there's always that feeling that running around under a cover of darkness where darkness is the absence of light. And so that gives them a form of security that can't be found anywhere else. And especially in an event like this, traveling at night, he may have traveled during the day. We don't know yet. Waited around, did his recon, and then he went and did what he did. And then he travels back at night. So it is a comfort to guys like this that they think they are invisible on the road.
Well, listen, again, I keep repeating it, innocent until proven guilty, but look at these routes. I want you to weigh in on the importance of routes taken and routes avoided, meaning if a longer route was taken to avoid tolls, that speaks volumes to a homicide detective, doesn't it?
Well, all of these movements are going to mean something. They're going to tell part of the story. So what was interesting to me, what will be, is if they determine, and I'm sure they will, what was the route that he took going, and did that change in the route coming back? And is there some sort of plan that he had that this was going to, he thought he was throwing people off? But, they're going to pull data, I would think, out of the car. If he had his cell phone with him, data out of there that's going to track him one way or the other. So it will be interesting to see if he tried to alter the routes to kind of throw off his trail a little bit, so to speak.
I've done a few crimes where there have been long drives. And again, he's innocent until proven guilty. But if Dr. McKee did this, is it possible that he and his, I'm guessing, very expensive defense attorney, because he's a vascular surgeon and he's going to hire one, is it possible they could use the excuse, yes, I drove that route. I needed to talk to her, and that's all I planned to do, to get them off the death penalty and premeditated murder?
Well, that's a good question, and I've been pondering what their approach is going to be for his defense. So they can, I guess, proffer that. They can say that kind of thing. But, this is a case like all homicides where you let the evidence lead you where you need to be. And it's always a journey for the truth. They can have their opinions about what he did, and they can tell the story, but they can't have their own set of facts. And these kind of facts that I think that are going to be developed in the digital footprint that he made on this journey are going to be pretty hard to dispute. And I don't think that some weak argument about, hey, I was just going up there to have a chat and it just turned bad, that's not going to mean there's not a lot of depth.
Well, especially if they find a murder weapon, which we don't know if they've done that. But if they find a murder weapon, it's like you don't go for a chat and take ballistics with you. So that could wipe that off the map right there. I only have 30 seconds left, but I got to ask you, because you know about what happens to someone after he or she commits murder. And I wanted you to just weigh in on that drive home and what your thoughts are about what that drive home might have been like if he actually killed those people.
Well, I can tell you, I had a case similar to this where it was a long period of time, 8 hours. This particular character made 3 trips in about 30 hours, 8-hour trips. So 24 hours worth of driving. And I can tell you that these guys that do this kind of thing, especially something like this that is fueled with this intimate relationship, it's the same kind of fee, the same kind of high that Tom Cruise gets when he launches off of a mountainside on a motorcycle. It is the adrenaline rush, the dopamine, everything that happens in a moment of thrill. That's what he's experiencing. And I would be surprised if he even remembers anything about the drive home, other than the fact that he left the location and he arrived at his residence. So that period of time, that's a long period of time to think about what you did. And I would imagine part of it is going to be justify, hey, I was right. I did what I had to do to protect myself, whatever that self was that he was trying to take care of. So, yeah, it's a moment of reflection. I would imagine that he's looking up in that mirror at himself, and he's thinking, yeah, I did this thing, and he is further justifying everything that he did.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.